Good evening. Welcome to Buzz Chats. This is Cindy Morris with the Peoria Public Schools Foundation. And tonight we are so honored to have two very special ladies as our guests. We have Nikki Romain from Art Inc. And we have Carolina Huser of Friendship House. So I will start by saying that Buzz Chats was started in the beginning of the pandemic as a way to connect to our friends in the community that are tied to Peoria Public Schools. And the Peoria Public Schools Foundation, in a nutshell, is an organization that's been around for 30 years, started by the school district as an exclusive fundraising entity for the school district. It started out traditionally with classroom grants for teachers and scholarships for students, mostly seniors going into college. And then over the years, we've grown into programming. We started a career and college readiness program, Horizons. We oversee the Adopt a School program. And then over the last 10 years, I've really gotten into the basic needs support our school district has so very much needed. And that would be support for uniforms and coats and shoes for our students, food insecurity, which would be little free pantries, snack pack programming for our students over the weekend. And we just serve as a bridge to the community to help people get connected to the school district. So that's our nutshell. And again, so happy to have Nikki and Carolina tonight with us. Nikki, if you'd like to start with your nutshell of your personal life and your professional life.
Sure. So I am the executive director and co-founder of Art Inc., which is short for Artists Re-envisioning Tomorrow. And we are an arts education nonprofit. We do, our mission is to inspire and empower the community through the arts. And we do this through our program. We offer arts, education, and cultural programs to children and youth, regardless of their financial situation. So for us, my husband and I, our why, I think, is what people like to know about. We're both artists. So my husband is a visual artist. He paints. And I am a performing artist. My background is theater, dancing, and acting. And that's what I was doing pretty much all my life. And for me, I was saved by the arts when I was younger. And it was a teacher that brought theater into my life. And I always thought if I could help just one person the way that teacher helped me, I would be so filled. And so now I get to do that all the time, and it's just absolutely amazing. So I love what I do. I don't feel like it's work. It's my passion. I feel like I have a purpose-driven life. And I've traveled all over the world, and I feel like with Peoria, this is like an amazing place with amazing people. So I'm happy to be here and call this place my home. And then also talk about some of the programs that we do. So we have a In the Schools program, which we work with Peoria Public Schools on. We are inside. So basically the things that we do at our center, we go into the schools and do those same programs. So any arts education programs, we're in Roosevelt, Harrison, Glen Oak, Treewin, Manual, Lincoln, Von Steuben, and Sterling. So we're in all 8 of those schools. And during the pandemic, I did a pivot and started the Art Inc. Homeschool Arts Academy, which is basically just for pre-Ks and kindergartners, and a way for parents to keep their children learning that weren't, the parents that weren't able to do that virtual learning. One, because with such little kids, it's really hard, because if you're juggling work, basically you're the teacher, because it's hard for the teacher to help a kindergartner. So we pivot to make that happen. We also partnered with the Peoria Playhouse Children's Museum to do Kidtastic Kits for Kids. And that's an art-based subscription kit, which is local. And each kit includes 3 art project lesson plans, the materials for the 3 projects, a booklet, and ideas for cultural connections, making ideas, and a STEM extension. Then we will be doing a summer camp this summer. Yay! So So we are actually in the midst of working the details out now, and we plan to launch that March 1st. And one exciting thing that we'll do with our summer camp is we're in the midst of working on a partnership with Illinois State University CMAS department, and we're going to have a program called the STEAM Racing Academy, where kids will design, build, and race push cars. And they'll get to do that in our big old parking lot out here. So that'll be really fun. And then we have our after school arts and leadership academy. We have Empower Our Girls, which because of COVID, I've transitioned more into a wellness type of program for teens and junior high girls. We focus on yoga, girl talk, creative writing, and then we do a beauty and skin element. And we had a virtual version where we had basically nonprofit leaders and activists from across the country, actually across the world, because we did have someone in from Mexico to come speak to the girls, talk about their journey as leaders, but then also pivot to talk about what they do for self-care. Because that's a huge thing. Like, I wish when I was younger, someone would have told me or taught me or even exposed me to learn how to take care of myself. Because I feel as women, we often pour into so much into other people, but we don't pour into ourselves. And it's really important. So I want to definitely bring that to the girls. And then my husband does a Saturday art class for kids, mostly teenagers. And you can check our website. They've been doing some amazing things with the art that they've been learning from him. So that's what we're doing.
Well, that's great. And if you want to share more than once your website, you're welcome to do that, because, you know, it's very cold on this evening and this week and last week, but I know most people are looking forward to spring. And the other part about to me that's exciting about what you're doing is the building that you're in, and you do have that very large parking space. So you have outdoor space, even though, you know, we're hopefully on a good turn with the pandemic, lowering of the numbers. But I still think there's going to be a lot of outdoor activities and still the social distancing. So I bet you're really excited about spring and being able to use the outdoors.
Absolutely. I can't wait. And, you know, we also have a garden. We have a community garden, and we're partnered with the U of I Master Gardeners Extension Program. And our lead gardener is amazing. And she's planning all kinds of things for the kids to grow, for the community. And even during COVID, we had a lot. We weren't able to have our annual meeting, like where we call the community to come in and teach them how to grow and stuff like that. But the word got out and people were really coming and getting their produce and vegetables. She planted a lot of things that the community and the neighbors asked for. So they were really excited to come get their green tomatoes and
yeah,
great things that they asked for. So we're excited about that. The kids will be in the garden as well. So yeah, we'll be doing a lot of stuff outside.
Well, great. Thank you. Carolina, do you want to give your...
Well, first of all, talking after Nikki Romain, that's a very hard act to follow. But I'll try. I'll try my best. First of all, thank you for having us, Cindy. It's really an honor to be with both of you. You guys know that you are two of my favorite persons. Thank you also for all the work that you do with PPS, supporting the schools. I think that's crucial to everything that Nikki and I do. For the people that don't know me, my name is Carolina Huser. I work within multiple organizations, but I do work mainly with Peoria Friendship House, in which we do have a lot of programs. Peoria Friendship House has been in the community since, forever. I don't even know since what years, but since forever. But in the last couple of months, we have been able to, thanks to our new leadership, we have been able to serve from 150 families to double that, which is incredible, amazing. We have a lot of programs to aid the community. With the Peoria Public Schools district, we do have our STEAM program, with the science and technology, math, and engineering. We have added a lot of new enrichment programs in which we have a multimedia type of podcast and enrichment program. We also have a Lego League that we have added to our curriculum. And apart from that, we have My Baby, which is a parent mentor program. in which I recruit parents within the Peoria Public School District, mainly right now working with just Roosevelt Magnet School and Lincoln School. I recruit parents, I train them, I give them leadership skills, and we have those parents assist the teachers with the students. This way we can have the parents kind of connect more with the school, empower themselves as leadership within their community and their school, and make them also better parents and more active within the community. That's my daughter right there. She's just like, what is mommy doing? So that's mainly the program that I work for Peoria Friendly House. Apart from that, we also have our food pantry, in which we have active Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So you want to come say hi since you already, yeah. Of course. So we have a food pantry that runs 3 days a week. Apart from that, we also have a lot of programs to help the Latino community as well. So we have kind of help with rental assistance, job placement, financial assistance, curriculum assistance, and all the type of different things. So yeah, we're very active in the community, and we're very happy to serve a lot of people.
And Carolina, where are you? Or did you grow up in Peoria or?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. That's good, because a lot of people like, her accent doesn't sound very Peorian, right? Okay, so so I'm originally from Panama City, Panama. I first came to Peoria back in 2010. I was recruited by Caterpillar in my senior year for the marketing training program. That's how I first came to Peoria. During that period of time, about two years and a half, that's how I met my husband. He still works for Caterpillar, so that's how we have been able to stay, close by and in Peoria. I have fell in love with the community. I have my kids here. I'm in love with the support system that the community have at the beginning. I'm like, Peoria is such a small, me coming from a very modern big city, coming to Peoria was a big of a change. But I'm so thankful that I did it, because I feel very welcome. I feel there's so much opportunity here, so much resources, so much things that we can grow together. And I feel a lot of people here, when we come together to support each other for a cause, we accomplish amazing things. So I'm very happy to be able to have a voice here, to have a purpose here, and to be able to help as much people as I can. So yeah, I'm very grateful.
Carolina, what I love about you is you are so good at your social media posting and positively supporting local. I just love that, because I choose to only put positive things on social media. And I love that you are constantly going to local restaurants and shops and people, and you put that out there. And I mean, that's, the local support is appreciated. So thank you.
No, I love it, because I think that's very important. Like, being able to show that you care where you live, you support the people in your community, and it's not a competition. You can, it's not that you have to go always to the same place or to support the same people. You can support multiple of people and still, be friends with everybody. So I feel that's very important to show that you don't have to have a preference. You can go wherever you want, but still, be able to support as much people as you can and show your love. So I think that's very important.
So we are getting close to Valentine's Day, and I know some people think it's so cliche, and I disagree. I love Valentine's Day, probably because I love hearts. I use hearts regularly in my salutations and on Facebook and that. I'm just kind of a heart queen, but I actually have a heart t-shirt on. I got my red roses in the background, as you can see. So I was thinking about Valentine's Day coming up on Sunday, and I wondered if each of you have special plans for this Valentine's Day. Nikki, do you want to start?
You will have to move that on to Carolina, because
we have a plan together. She people only my plan.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. We were going to do, but like I don't know, like Valentine's Day is not, I'm one of those people that you mentioned.
You think it's cliche?
I
Yeah.
do. I think it's, I always feel like, and this is going to be bad, but I feel like it's a Hallmark holiday.
Yeah. There's a lot of
And,
people that think that. Yeah.
and I feel like, well, at least in my marriage and like how we are, like and I think another thing, you know what, now that I think I've been trained to think this, because
Yeah.
before when I was single, it was a big thing, but my husband is normally traveling. It just literally hit me in this moment.
Yeah.
Like literally he is always doing a show in New York on Valentine's Day. So I literally have been trained like, it's no biggie because he's never here.
You blocked it out.
I blocked it out. So for
Yeah.
us, it's like Valentine's Day is like literally every day. So it's not a big deal to me anymore because I feel like he's never here. Like maybe we should do something special because he actually is here because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So maybe we should do something special. But I mean, literally, he's never here on Valentine's Day.
Carolina, what do you have planned?
We don't have nothing major planned. I do have a Valentine's Day bestie photo shoot with Nikki Romain that you guys will see our pictures very soon when we actually do it. That's our big plan to be continued. So yeah, but we really don't have anything like really planned. We're probably gonna like go eat out or something. Last year we went to Hacienda Mirador for their Valentine's Day dinner, which was really good. So we might do that this year again. And we did at our Inc. Like a couples painting night. That was amazing. But because of COVID and everything this year, sadly, we'll have to maybe plan it for next year again. But that was super fun. So that's something that we are looking forward to doing sometime again at our Inc. But it was amazing. But yeah, so not much plan, but I do love like getting together with my friends and having like a girls' lunch. Or like this is my pre-Valentine's right here with you.
I'm thinking about chocolate chip pancakes on Valentine's Day.
Oh,
that's what I'm gonna do.
That's good. For the kids, maybe on Sunday or something like for breakfast, just make them fun for them. I might do something like that. That sounds good. Good idea. Thanks.
So basically, Carolina and I will be knocking on your door so that we can
make it, please.
And we'll bring our kids because they're gonna want some too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's see. So Nikki, you talked about the programs. Is there anything different than what you've mentioned earlier for the spring and summer with PPS, or did you basically tell what everything was?
I always jump the gun, so yes.
That's okay. Any surprises coming up, or?
Well, some really cool things that we've talked about with the grants are because we don't really have much going on in the center because of COVID, so we're doing mainly the programs because it was so. With working in the schools, it was so many pivots when they're doing virtual, then they're doing this. So we decided to do like little virtual hits here and there, like opening our doors, then closing our doors, and we didn't want to go through that. I didn't want to drive myself insane. So, but one of the things that we just recently talked about is having field trips. So the kids through the Ready, Set, Go program, which is Harrison and Roosevelt, they are coming at the end of the month to do a Black History art project. And then for the whole month of I'm sorry, I'm in July already. What am I talking about? For the whole month of March, we're actually going to have all the 21st century schools. So we'll have Manual, we'll have Treewind, Glen Oak. They'll be coming to do art activities. Oh, and then another cool thing. So we're partnering with the Peoria Symphony Orchestra. They have an opera singer coming into town, and he is a person of color and can totally relate to the kids that we, that in our programs. And we're going to do a special program with this opera singer with the Ready, Set, Go program. So I didn't mention that, and that's going to be really exciting. And I think one of the things, and even for myself when I was growing up, is if you don't know, you don't know, right? And exposing these kids to just things that are, you know, they just have never heard of. Like, I never thought when I was younger that I would study musical theater and sing, you know, opera. Like, or study classical music. I would have never in a million years guessed that that's what I would have done when I got older. But I freaking love it. And I think, you know, just having that exposure and having someone see something in me that I didn't even know was there, you know, doing that for kids here that come into our space is just, I think it's life changing. And I hope that one of these kids, they get exposed to this, and the next thing I know, they come back and tell me, I'm doing opera or I'm doing this. Like, that would just make my heart sing. I would love that.
Yeah, and I know you probably know that we started our Horizons program, same concept. You know, it's putting 6th, 7th, and 8th graders with various career professions so they can see and hear from different career paths and learn. Because like you said, if you don't know it, then you don't know it. But if you see it, then you think, wow, you know, and that's, it's been such a beautiful program for us starting 8 years ago with 75 students and now in all middle schools and reaching hundreds of students. So
it's amazing, Cindy.
It does make a difference.
Yeah, that's awesome that you guys are doing that too. And like it's just exposure. You never know what's gonna go off in their little heads, you know?
Right, right. So I wanted to ask Carolina, what is the most rewarding part of serving on the Art Inc. board? And I can say, as being an executive director for organization, you know, your staff is a key and important, but your board of directors are too. And really, it's just a big team that you have for your organization. But I know that you, in particular, your connection with Nikki, and you do serve as a board member. Tell what is rewarding for being on the Art Inc. board.
Well, so far it has been an honor. I think everybody that knows Nikki and Jonathan, everybody knows that they are truly a gem for our community. The most amazing thing I would say is to see the transformation of the kids' life. Beyond the many opportunities our Inc. offers to the kids in our community to actually thrive and to try new things that would have never been able for them to even know if it wasn't for Nikki and Jonathan. To see the impact they have in these kids' life, how they transform their life, how they make them think that they can achieve more, that it is possible. It's not a dream. It's not something that is just on the TV or that you can see in the internet. It's something that you can actually achieve if you work hard for it. So just to be able to see that impact they have in the kids, it's just tremendous. I think there's no much reward than that, than just to see what they do with these kids. So I think we're very lucky to have our Inc. in our community, and I think it's only the beginning of greater things to come, and I'm very happy to be part of it.
Well, we're lucky to have you. Thank you.
So I wanted to ask you each another question, and this would be because I'm thinking hearts and celebrating love and affection, because we're going to have Valentine's Day on Sunday. But this pandemic over the last year has been incredibly hard on many people for many reasons, financially, well-being, students, struggling with the virtual setting. But for you each, over the last year, has there been someone that did something very special for you that just really sticks out in your mind, that maybe, just brightened your day or week, or maybe you were having a bad day? And, I think with the pandemic, especially in the beginning, it was a roller coaster ride. You were up and down. But Nikki, was there something over the last year that someone did or made just a major impact for you during this tough time?
Yeah, well, there is a young lady. Her name is Carolina Huser. And so Carolina is just so thoughtful. And like she'll come by and bring me like little gifts. Like just yesterday, I don't even think she knew this, but like I wore this shirt, not for this conversation, but when she told me that we were like doing Valentine's wearing red, my place of love is Paris. And there was this when I used to live in Los Angeles, there was this bakery, it was a French bakery, and they had the best macaroons. And this girl brought me like a case of macaroons just yesterday. And I don't even think she knows how much I love them. I don't even know if I've shared that with her, but it's like she can read my brain or something. That was so thoughtful. But in addition to that, she'll see like if I'm flustered, like, we did a virtual fundraiser and she'll just come in and handle stuff. Like when you talk about she's a friend, but when you talk about board members and people really like stepping up to the plate and like, giving of their time, talent, and treasure, Carolina, with hands down, is like the best friend, but like an amazing board member. And it's just like when you talked about her being in the community and like, I don't even know how she has the time to do all the posts and go everywhere. Like, I'm like, you were just here dropping macaroons. How are you? Like, when are you doing this? I just think she is absolutely amazing. And she's so thoughtful. And I would say, I feel like I'm about to cry, but I would say like her little expressions of love are just so amazing and were really helpful throughout the pandemic. And I know she might think they were small, but to me, they were really huge.
So. You're gonna make me cry at some point. My husband told me something like that.
Like, okay, I just want to say, so for Christmas, she got me these like they're red and white like socks, but they look like stocking caps, like they're really thick. I wear those every night because they're so warm and cold and fuzzy. And so it's like I think of her all the time because these socks are, it's just, she's just so thoughtful. I love you, girl.
Oh, it's so
love you too. Marina. You see, this is like Valentine's girl chat.
And then there's one more person. So I don't know if you guys know, I know Carolina knows her, but Darlene Violet.
Yes.
Oh my God. She is amazing. Like she calls me, she thinks of ideas of like, oh, Nikki, you should do this for your next fundraiser. Or she's just, oh my God, she is an amazing person. And even her love, like she just had some major loss in her life and she just extends love over and over. And so she is definitely on my list of the bright light throughout this pandemic. So I could go on and on. There were a lot of but I will stop. And then my husband, I mean, he's amazing. And just, I think people are like, how can you work with your husband? But like, we have a 50,000 square foot building. Sometimes I don't even know where he is. Like everybody always knows.
True.
Yeah, it's true. Everybody knows I'm always in my office glued to but like he could be on the roof. He could be anywhere. So it's like, but he has been an amazing, just rock. He's my rock. So this was a rough year. So
yeah. Carolina, did you have anyone that stood out or?
I think it's really funny that we're talking about this because I feel like with this pandemic, we actually build new friendships. A lot of we got a lot of strength in in relationships. I think because we lean on each other and people who actually care about you step up and do things that you're like, wow, that's a real friend. I'm grateful for getting my relationship with Nikki stronger. I'm actually so grateful to build a friendship with you too, Cindy, because I feel we have grown, and to know each other and to be, better friends because of this pandemic and, actually reaching out to each other for support and everything working together. I'm also grateful for Christine Berkemper. We grew super close because of our virtual event with Art Inc. And she has been a tremendous friend for me. And very supportive of everything I do, and I know I can always stand with her whenever I need, someone to hear me out or an advice or everything. So I'm very grateful for her. Well, one person that I have to also mention, because he's the one who gives me a lot of flexibility in my job, so I can do a lot of things. Marcelo, our new executive director. If you don't know if he's here and he will see this, thank you so much for your leadership with us, for believing in me and letting me do all the things that I need to do to grow our organizations and and still be active in the community. So I think he also has grown to be a very good friend of mine. So I'm grateful for him. And yeah, so I think that's about it. And of course, my family was always there for me. So
yeah. I would say for me, before the pandemic started, there were some friends. We started a lunch group, and we would get together, once every couple months and grab lunch. And then even during the pandemic, we got locked down for a while, but we would do it in a socially distanced fashion. But those are things that I would always very much look forward to. And I feel like this last birthday, for some strange reason, I don't know why, I got more spoiled than ever, and maybe it's because I'm getting older and older, and I'm really old compared to you two, but it was my 53rd birthday, and I don't think I've ever had more love and affection than I did. And both my parents are gone, so that says a lot. So, but there's something about, I think, in the air, even with the hard times. I think people's hearts are redirected, and so many are really reaching out and really trying to share love more, I think, during this pandemic. I don't know. Do you guys feel that way?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I agree. And to your point, like I've mentioned that I lived in LA, and I have like 3 really close girlfriends. Like I call them my chosen family. And we have committed every Sunday we do a Zoom call. And I mean, these girls are in LA, and we were talking about, the gaining weight during COVID and all this kind of stuff. So we actually get together on Sundays, we work out together, we do an accountability check-in, and then we just have our girl talk, and we talk about our week, we talk about work or whatever. And I missed them. Like, I don't know. It's been amazing. So I call them Corona blessings. Like there have been a lot of Corona blessings that have happened.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
I wanted to ask you guys, Cindy, you can kick me out of here if you want, but
no.
You made me think about, have you guys heard of the love languages? Like, do you guys know your love language?
I haven't heard about that.
Oh my God. Okay, well then I know what I got to get you for Valentine's Day. I really love it. And I feel like it made me think about it because Carolina, my love language is, I think it's gifts. And it's not like I want to be showered with gifts. I just like little thoughtful things. Like if you go out of your day and then you come back and you bring me like a flower, it lets me know that you thought about me while you were out and about in your busy day. And that's my love language. And so when you made me think about Valentine's Day and then thinking about being grateful for Carolina, it made me think about the love language. What's yours, Cindy?
I mean, I would say, I love gifts too, and I love giving gifts, but I love getting them too. Like I get super excited. I mean, and it can be, my daughter constantly makes little pictures or says little, love quotes to me. And that's a gift in itself. So it doesn't have to be a present that costs a lot of money, but definitely gifts for me. And I love giving gifts. How about you, Carolina?
I think I love giving gifts too, because I think that's my way of showing love, like showing that I that I care, that I'm here, that I'm thinking of them. It takes a lot of energy to choose something that like, or even if I'm not. Sometimes I'm not even thinking of getting anybody nothing, but I just see something and I'm like, just that person pops into my head. I'm like, you know what, like, this is something that they would like, and just knowing that they will be happy getting it makes me happy. So for me, that's the most rewarding part, knowing that, it's going to brighten their day or make them happy. And make
I have to put you the book so that you can see the other
love
languages.
Yeah, and the other thing I'll tell you guys, because I feel like you guys are, I'm the older woman here.
Girl, you look so good and make me feel bad.
Right? I'm like, yes, I want to be looking like that when I'm 53. Yes.
Yeah. I definitely don't act 53, but I am 53. But I will say, when I lost my parents, I decided for myself that I would buy myself flowers on the regular. So, because I love them so much. So that's definitely something that I don't just wait for Valentine's Day or special days like birthdays and stuff like that. I treat myself to flowers, and I think that life is short, and if you love something a lot, treat yourself. I mean, I think that's a powerful thing. So,
amen to that. Yeah.
Nikki, I wanted to ask you, this is kind of a question that's important for, you and your organization. I mean, you started this nonprofit, and I wanted to hear what's been the hardest and most rewarding part of starting a nonprofit, and kind of your thoughts on that, and where you started and where you are today.
Well, starting a nonprofit, let me tell you. So I'm sure, as you guys both know, the nonprofit sector comes with an abundance of challenges, right? But then I explain it like this, like, most of the time when you have an executive director or something like that, you have a ship, and there's people that are pulling this ship that are the crew, and then they hire somebody, and then you're just kind of there, not kind of there, but you're there to guide the way. When you're a founder, you build the boat, like you build this ship, and then you have to find the people to help you, and then you might have to change this person, and it's like it is rewarding, but it is definitely very challenging, and you need to have very thick skin to go on a venture, being a founder of a nonprofit. And you need to, and I tell people that too, like, when you think about starting a nonprofit, you have to think about, this is what you will be doing every day. And if you do not feel comfortable, or you feel like this is something you can't talk about and do every day, then don't do it. Because for me, this is my passion. This is my life. Like, and I didn't pick just any nonprofit. It's arts related. That's what I love. That's my passion. And, for us, we thought, when that article came out about Peoria being the worst place for Blacks, we thought about, what could we do to help, right? We're both artists. What could we do? And that, I mean, there's a lot of history behind that. We've always wanted to do this, but what kind of gave us that push to get it going. So it has been quite the struggle, but it has been so rewarding. And doing it in Peoria, my gosh, Peoria is so amazing, and so, like, people just have open arms, and I guess, we're very authentic. We're coming from a place of love, and people can just feel and see that love and welcome it back with open arms. So, I would say the most challenging is just getting it started, learning. I'm learning something new literally every day. It's like you have an organization, a corporation, and you have a human resource department. You have the financial department. That's literally all there in my office. All the departments are in one place, and I'm wearing multiple hats. So, like, having people like Carolina to be like, hey girl, don't forget this or that, or she knows, like, if I'm like, over here dealing with programming and that, but then I got to show up to this event. She's like, okay, don't forget this, don't forget that. And I love having people like that in my life to help me. And I could say, you can tell by the progression of our board how we have grown. So of course, when you start a nonprofit, you're doing the paperwork, and you just get a board, right?
Mm-hmm.
And especially because I really didn't know anybody in Peoria at the time. So we have like our friend here and our friend there and yada, yada, yada. And in the beginning, Jonathan was the president of our board. That's a big no-no, but we didn't know that. So we took that leap of faith. We're both staff now, and we have an amazing board filled with, like, we have Keith Knepp on our board, who's, point. We have Les Willis is our board president. He is an exec at State Farm. We have Andy Rubenstein, who lives in Chicago, but he has roots here in Peoria, and he just sold his company he just went public with his company for nearly $9 million. Like,
wow.
There are some really game-changing people, but we went from starting to people, just random people on our board, to where we are now. And that is a true indication of our growth, because we have learned, and I work all day, but it's not work to me. And I love this work. And I pour my heart into it. And if you cannot do that as a founder, I would say don't do it. Don't do it at all. But yeah, so I don't know if I really answered your question, but I love what I do. And I think being a founder, it takes thick skin, and I definitely have it. I've been beaten and bruised as an actor. Like, who gets more abused than actors? We get no's all the time. No.
Yeah.
And then I feel like my entire life led me to where I am now. Everything that I've done, everything that I've experienced gave me all the tools and resources that I needed to be where I am today. So, like I said, I feel like I'm living a purpose-driven life. And like you said, life is short. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be, and I love it.
Yeah, and just to add to what Nikki said, I feel like there's so much talent in Peoria, but there's not many places or people that can actually help you pursue your dreams or push you, or places like our Inc. that you can go and you can actually try to make that a career, make that a profitable career for you. So, like, we're very lucky to have our Inc. here in Peoria, and I can't wait for us having the doors open and have all the kids coming in and experience new things and see what they're capable of doing. So, great things coming for sure.
Yeah. Well, you both have great organizations too. It's your connections really interesting too. I mean, but I think the future with hopefully spring coming and being able to be outdoors, and I think there's a lot to look forward to in the near future. So if there was one story that you could tell since the beginning of the pandemic, that it could be like a student story, how you personally saw a student being touched with your organization, or it could be a parent. Do you guys have a little story that sticks out?
I do. So this summer we participated in the Summer Youth Employment Program with Peoria Public Schools, and there were my husband took under his wing like 8 boys, and one of the boys had been shot before he started with us, and Jonathan always has these little powwows, and so they were talking. And he wanted revenge, he was hurt, he was upset. And so Jonathan was talking to him about, like, his whole thing. And I love this theory that he has, is like, you need to get yourself an elephant. Like, he tells this story about, if someone gave you an elephant and told you need to get this elephant to New York and I'm going to give you $100,000, what would you get that elephant to New York? And they're like, yeah, of course, I'm going to get that elephant to New York. But then, first he starts it off with, say someone spits in your face. And they're like, I'm going to knock them out, whatever. But then what if you're on your way to New York with this elephant and you get to, Ohio and someone spits in your face? Oh, then they're all like, I'm not doing anything. I don't care. I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to get that elephant to New York. You need to get yourself an elephant. You need to get yourself some passion, something that will make you rise above all this nonsense and get that elephant. Focus on that elephant. So in his, he didn't necessarily tell that story, but he basically told him like, that's nonsense. That is not going to get you somewhere. So what if you retaliate? Then that person dies. Then you're in jail. Like, I mean, we can replay the scenario over and over again. And, he kept coming back like, but you don't understand. You don't understand, et cetera, et cetera. And watch out, baby. And so they're going back and forth. And then the next day he comes back to Jonathan. He's like, you know what? I thought about it and you're right. I do need to focus on other things. And we saw the progression of him changing his mindset. And he continued to stay on with us. I mean, we kept him on, we did volunteer. A couple of the other boys have stayed on too. One of them is actually in our promo video. His name is Makai, and he's one of the artists taking the art class. We didn't even know, but when he got selected to be at Art Inc., he had been following Jonathan's career and he was so excited. Like these little paths, like he was like, I'm so happy to be studying underneath. We didn't even know that. We just selected people and did the little interviews. I mean, there's been so much growth, but during the pandemic, I would say that would be the story that most resonates with me about a child that we've worked with.
Carolina?
And just to add to Nikki, I have met that boy, and it's just amazing how the way he speaks about Jonathan, about the way he speaks about Art Inc., the impact he has been into his life. It's just like, wow, it's amazing. Well, in Peoria Friendship House, during the pandemic, I have been blessed to help a lot of families. We have helped a lot of kids with our STEAMS program. Our instructors are amazing. They have helped the kids going from C's and D's to A's and B's. But personally, I feel like for me, the most kind of like remarkable feeling, I'd say, being able to help people like that have no hope, like just parents that have come to me, like, not having the needs to feed their families or struggling to pay their rent, and us being able to help them out, give them help with the food pantry, or give them the contact or the resources to help them with their with the COVID relief stuff. It's really an amazing feeling seeing somebody who has come. Like I had one parent that came to me that she had like a newborn, and they were living it was in the middle of winter, starting winter. They were living in the house for over a month with no heat, no heat whatsoever. I'm like, this is not possible. Like, you shouldn't have no heat right now. So in one day she came like, no, let's fix this right now. So I was able to get her heat back on, get her all set up with Amaranth, set her up with food, and she was like just crying with excitement of like, because she had completely lost hope. And for her to have that help, somebody actually, caring enough to, do a change and change her life situation in that same day, in a couple of hours, like that was the most amazing feeling, just to see the reward of like helping out a family, and a single mom with a baby. So I think that's one of the stories that have really stick to me, and why I keep doing what I do, because I think people like that just need sometimes just a hand, just to know that there's people that actually care, there's people that can help you, and if you care enough, just ask for the help. Well, there's things that we can do. So yeah.
I'll try to quickly tell my story. So since the start of the pandemic, we've made a very focused pivot to food insecurity. So a lot of our resources have been tied to that. And that looks like our little free pantries that are almost every school. So we've been, replenishing food in those pantries on a regular basis over the last 11 months. And a couple times a year, it's been 3 times this year, I have the honor of taking the superintendent, Dr. Karat, around to all the schools. I'm her driver. I love it because I get 8 hours of talking to her and just spending time with her. And recently we were at a school, and with the pandemic, before I would go into the schools with her, but as far as limiting contact, a lot of times I just drop her off. She runs in for 10 or 15 minutes, says hi to the students, talks to teachers and the principal. But one of the schools, I pulled up right in front of the building, right in front of the door, and the little free pantry is right up by the door. And Dr. Karat runs in. I go check the pantry thinking I'm there. I'll see if there's food in there so we can report back to Sarah Oakford, who is in charge of the pantries. And there was still some food in the pantries. So I go back in my car. I'm literally sitting there for about 2 or 3 minutes, and I see this lady coming up the sidewalk. She passes my car, and she goes in the pantry, and I'm thinking, is she going to take food? Or, that's what I assumed she was going to do, take food. And she didn't. She put a little note in the pantry. So I found it so interesting. I'm like, I wonder what the note said. So I waited till she left and she obviously walked to the front of the school to the pantry. When she got out of sight, I went and looked in the pantry. She literally left a little note that said, "Thank you for this." And I call these God moments or these special moments, but I was there at that school for 12 minutes, and she happens to come during that time frame. And the ironic part is I just asked for a fund balance on our little free pantries, and we basically had used all the money. And it was just a sign for me, like, we have to continue this. That moment was so poignant and beautiful to me because this lady, obviously it meant a lot to her, and she was thanking us for it. So it was like chilling. And I told Dr. Crud as soon as she got in the car, and I told the story because it's a story to tell. Food insecurity is real. So sorry that took a little longer than I thought, but it's an important story. So.
No, thank you for sharing. I did saw the social media post with the note and everything, and wow, it's amazing how something that little can impact somebody's life so much. So yeah, it's definitely important.
Yeah. And like you said, like you said, the fact that it happened while you were there, like that is one of those moments. Like, okay, I definitely was supposed to see this, and definitely I need to keep this going. Yeah.
Yep. It was a beautiful moment. Mm-hmm. So, Saturday, I went to a Go Local event at Junction City, and I got to talk at that event. And I was, and Carolina and Nikki, the importance of shopping local and supporting local. But I was there on behalf of our nonprofits and saying that, we need, local nonprofits need support for this important, impactful work we do. So I'd like you to kind of end here by letting the viewers and listeners know where to contact you. And I encourage the people that are watching, please spread this this podcast and support these wonderful local nonprofits. We need you more than ever. And Nikki, if you want to give the information where someone can give, your website address and kind of parting words to the listeners.
Absolutely. So we are Art Inc. Peoria, and you can go to our website, which is artincpeoria.org. You can contact me directly. My email is Nikki, Nikki, at artincpeoria.org. On our website, as soon as you get there, you'll see how to donate to us as well. You can always mail a check or donate electronically. You could shoot me an email if you're wanting to volunteer. We need volunteers. So we're always looking for help in any kind of way. So we have gotten a lot of support in Peoria. We're so grateful to be here doing the work that we do. Like I said, this is my life's work. I'm very passionate about what we do. And I can't wait to have more kids in the building and and treat more kids because that was the other thing about the pandemic. Like, we were literally in the middle of our after school program and about to do a really big summer program. And it just allowed us to take a step back and do those pivots that we did. But in the midst of that, we've done the public art on our building and things like that. So throughout the midst of it, we've had volunteers that have come. In the spring, we'll need help in the garden. And we definitely need, that financial contribution as well. So, yep, those are the ways to reach us through our website. You can always email me as well. And you can come by and get a tour of the building as well.
It's a beautiful building, that's for sure. When you enter, you don't want to come out.
Thank you.
Well, in Peoria Friendship House, we do have this news and thing going on. It's called the 800 Donor Club. You can get more information going to www.1800myhouse.com. All the donations go to support all of our programs. So that includes the Teams Academy, the enrichment programs, the food pantry, and all of our other outreach programs as well. So I ask everybody to come and check it out, and you get to call Peoria Friendship House your house. I'm very grateful again for being here with both of you. So thank you, Cindy, one more time for having us and being able to spread and share with everybody what we do, for the community and the ways, they can contact us as well. And yeah, so that's in a nutshell. So hi.
Yeah, I challenge people in the community. I challenge people in the community this Valentine's Day to support Arts Inc. and the Friendship House. Think about, if you have some extra resources, sponsor a student for some classes, or donate some school supplies, or I know at the Friendship House you have basketball camps and things like that. So
yes.
Support our students in a special way. So I love that you guys have your little loves on the show, because my little love is 22 years old and she wouldn't be popping around on the computer. So I love seeing your little sweethearts there.
Say hi.
Hi. Bye.
Hi. How are you? Well, once again, thank you, Nikki and Carolina. I think you both are very special ladies. One, I told you more than once, Carolina, you have a beautiful heart and soul, and you spread positivity on social media, and I love that, and you always support local. Nikki, you started a nonprofit organization in our community, and you're such a great role model and example to look at your little young lady there and many, many people in the community. So I hope that you all have a good evening, and we'll look forward to our next Buzz Chats in a few weeks. Everyone have a good evening.
Thank you, Cindy. And thank you for all the work that you guys are doing through the foundation.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
Good night, ladies. Love you both. Bye.